The Las Vegas Raiders have been really, really active in free agency. And I'm really proud and really astonished by how big of a priority the Las Vegas Raiders have put on improving the defensive side of football. I mean, they've signed a lot of key players to help improve that side of football. Now, the first player that they signed that I feel is the most important is linebacker Cory Littleton. Now, Cory Littleton agreed to terms for a 3-year deal worth up to $36 million. Now, this is a big signing because, look, Cory Littleton is the best coverage linebacker in all of football. He can cover slot receivers across the middle. He can also cover tight ends as well. And now you're giving him to the Oakland Raiders, a team that has struggled in pass coverage over the last couple of seasons. Their struggles on the defensive side of the ball, specifically when it comes to pass coverage, dates all the way back to 2016, which was when Jack Del Rio was the head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders. So I mean, the Raiders have been struggling for a very long time and trying to defend the pass. So now you get the best coverage linebacker, which I actually predicted Cory Littleton to end up going to the Oakland Raiders. One of the few predictions that I got right. So now he's with the Oakland Raiders. I think he's going to dramatically improve that defense because you got a defense that really struggled to stop the pass. And I mean, Cory Littleton improves the whole unit when it comes to pass coverage. And that's something that the Las Vegas Raiders have lacked, not only at the cornerback position, but the linebacker position as well. So I think Cory Littleton is a really good signing for the Oakland Raiders. And the fact that they only signed him to a $36 million deal for only 3 years, I thought that was an absolute steal because, I mean, Cory Littleton, I thought the market for him was going to be really high. Like, I thought he was going to end up getting Joe Schobert type money, and I actually thought he was a lot better than Schobert, who ended up signing a $57 million contract with the Jacksonville Jaguars. So, I mean, kudos to the Las Vegas Raiders being able to secure him for a 3-year deal to $36 million because I actually thought the market for him was going to be a lot higher than him signing for $36 million. The next big signing that they had is that they signed quarterback Marcus Mariota. They agreed to terms with a contract with Marcus Mariota. And Marcus Mariota is a guy who is probably going to end up coming in as a backup. And when the Las Vegas Raiders just get frustrated with Derek Carr, they can just go ahead and insert Marcus Mariota into the starter lineup, which I'm really going to have a hard time believing that Marcus Mariota will eventually become the starter for the Las Vegas Raiders because when you look at Derek Carr doesn't really necessarily do anything bad that will force your hand to take him out. Like, he's not a turnover machine like Jameis Winston. It's just that he really has been the same since that back injury that he suffered. And really, the Oakland Raiders want a quarterback the Las Vegas Raiders, want a quarterback that has more upside. So I don't know if Marcus Mariota is that quarterback that they've been talking about and looking for that has an upside. Marcus Mariota is a really good mobile quarterback when he's outside the pocket and able to make things happen with his feet. But I mean, he kind of fell off and played over the last couple of years with the Tennessee Titans. And the Tennessee Titans really failed Marcus Mariota. A lot of people keep saying that Mariota is garbage. But I mean, Mariota has took the Titans to the playoffs. He's won a playoff game. So, I mean, I think that the Titans failed Mariota more than Mariota failed the Tennessee Titans. I mean, they just had coaching changes every single year, new offensive coordinators and things like that. So I just think all of that was a big reason why Mariota failed as the quarterback for the Tennessee Titans. I'm not saying that he's inexcused from any blame, don't get me wrong, but I just think that the Titans failed Mariota more than Mariota failed the Tennessee Titans. So I think Mariota being the backup quarterback for the Las Vegas Raiders would be a really interesting fit. I also expect John Gruden to incorporate Marcus Mariota in several packages, specifically in the red zone. Maybe get him in at a little bit of wildcat and things like that. So I don't necessarily think that the Oakland Raiders are necessarily going to use Marcus Mariota to strictly be a backup, and he's never going to touch the field. I think Gruden's going to find several ways to get Mariota involved in the game plan for the Las Vegas Raiders. Now, another guy who they signed, who I think is a little bit on the radar of a signing, is tight end Jason Witten. Now, Jason Witten is going to be signing with the Oakland Raiders for a 1-year deal. Now, him and Gruden, former Monday Night Football host and things like that. Jason Witten, despite his age, still had a very productive season with the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, he caught for over 500 yards, had a very good season with the Dallas Cowboys despite his age. So I think he's going to be another good piece to that Las Vegas Raiders offense, for almost comfortable saying Oakland. It's just very weird to try to get acclimated to saying that name. But I mean, Jason Witten, you pair him up with tight end Darren Waller, I think they could be really good when they choose to run 2 tight end sets and so forth. And he was really good inside the red zone with the Dallas Cowboys last year as well. The Cowboys found a lot of ways to get Jason Witten the ball inside the red zone. So for the Las Vegas Raiders, the 3 biggest signings, in my opinion, was Cory Littleton. You signed Marcus Mariota to be your backup quarterback, and Jason Witten. Now, they also signed a couple of other key players as well. When I was recording this video, I actually had to stop and delete that recording and re-record it again because they ended up signing cornerback Eli Apple. Now, Eli Apple is a really interesting piece for the New Orleans Saints defense. He was coming from the New York Giants, where he wasn't really all that great. With the New Orleans Saints, I felt he was really solid. I don't think he was nothing spectacular, but I mean, he was a lot better with the Saints than he was with the New York Giants. I think a big reason for that was because he had a lot of help on the back end compared to what he had with the New York Giants. He didn't really have a lot of help at a safety position to back him up over the top. And sometimes, despite how great of a corner you may be, from time to time, you may occasionally get burnt. It's always good to have a good safety over the top to help you out in case you end up getting burnt. So I think that Eli Apple really resurrected his career with the New Orleans Saints. Now, I'm going to be really interested in seeing how he fares with the Las Vegas Raiders. Now, the Raiders have needed cornerback help for a very long time. Like I said, dating all the way back to 2016, the Del Rio days, they needed help at the cornerback position. Now, they traded for Garyon Conley from the Houston Texans, who was their best cornerback. But even I don't think he was enough to just help the Raiders by themselves. They also lost their rookie safety, Jonathan Abram. He suffered a season-ending injury as well. So, I mean, I think that this secondary for the Raiders is dramatically improved with the signing of Eli Apple. They also signed safety from the Dallas Cowboys, Jeff Heath. Now, he's signing with the Raiders on a 2-year deal worth the $8 million. Now, Jeff Heath was really solid with the Dallas Cowboys, believe it or not. For all you guys that are a big fan of pro football folks and things like that, I think he had a pro football focus grade of 68.8, I believe, or 72 point something. I want to say it was 68, but he was really solid with the Dallas Cowboys. He's also solid in run coverage and stopping the run as well. So I'm really interested to see what he does paired up with second-year safety Jonathan Abram. And I really was interested in seeing what Jonathan Abram did, because Jonathan Abram is a really big hitter that was able to punish people coming across the middle. If you go back and watch Hard Knocks, Gruden, Mayock, the whole Raiders front office and coaching staff was really excited to see what Jonathan Abram was going to be able to do. They were really excited about him. He was pretty much one of John Gruden's favorite players in Hard Knocks, and he ended up suffering that season-ending injury when the season initially started. So I'm really interested in seeing what Jeff Heath does alongside of fellow safety Jonathan Abram. Now, another key signing that they did, they signed linebacker Nick Kowalski. Now, he agreed to terms on a 3-year deal worth the $21 million. That also includes $13.5 million in guarantees. Now, Nick Kowalski, I really didn't know a lot about him, so I talked to a Bears fan. A Bears fan said that Nick Kowalski is a really solid linebacker. He's not great, but he's solid. He's a serviceable starter, and that's what Nick Kowalski is going to bring to the Oakland Raiders. And he's basically an upgrade from whoever they had playing linebacker last year. So what he's going to do, he's going to bring some much needed some much-needed help to the linebacker position for the Oakland Raiders. And another guy, the last guy who the Oakland Raiders signed to free agency, they've been going on an absolute tear, but they signed linebacker, defensive end Carl Nassib. Now, Carl Nassib is signing with the Raiders on a 3-year deal worth $25 million, and the deal includes $17 million in guarantees and up to $28 million in incentives. So Carl Nassib had a really solid season with the Bucks. I believe he had like 6 sacks last year, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong. But he was really solid. He also was solid with the Cleveland Browns as well. And the Oakland Raiders, it was really weird to see them picking up another defensive end, considering the fact that they were pretty loaded at that position. They drafted the dude out of Clemson last year, and they also had Max Crosby, who was a very good surprise because he was better than the dude that they drafted from Clemson last year. So, I mean, the Oakland Raiders defense is really coming together. I'm really interested in seeing what happens with this Raiders defense going forward, because, look, this Raiders defense was a big reason why they missed the playoffs. The reason why why they missed the playoffs was simply for the fact that they couldn't stop anybody on the defensive side of the ball. And the only way the Raiders were really winning games was when they was outscoring their opponents. And you're not going to win a lot of games that way. So I'm really excited to see what this Oakland Raiders team does going forward. Let me know what you guys think about the Raiders free agent signings. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel for more NFL videos and content. And thanks for watching.